Well, let's get more from Sami Hamdi, Editor-in-Chief of the International Interest, who joins us now from London. Thank you for speaking to us, Sami. So what's happening now and what led to this advance on Tripoli?
Well, we know that Haftar has taken his troops from the east. He's trying to surround Tripoli, trying to bring an end to this conflict, an end not necessarily in a good way, an end in the sense that an end to this deadlock between east and west. What Haftar has been planning is for quite some time. Haftar realized that when he took the oil ports and Trump threatened to put him on a sanctions list and threatened to bomb his army, Haftar realized something from the international community, that it will only move in Libya insofar as the oil price is threatened, or indeed some of the other infrastructure contracts are threatened. So Haftar realized that Sarraj, who doesn't really have an army, who has to rely on militias, let's remember that Sarraj's government in Tripoli had to come in by night via sea because the militias were threatening to halt his return to Tripoli. Haftar realized that aside from these militias that are fighting between themselves in Tripoli, France and Italy and the international community are still standing by Sarraj. So what Haftar has been doing in the last 6-7 months, he's been trying to appease the EU. He said, look, EU, your problem is migration, your problem is terrorism. I will take my army to the south and I will help you solve the migration crisis. I will help you solve this terrorism crisis. I will make myself a valuable partner to you. Now, the French and the Italians have bought into this, bought into that Haftar is a valuable ally. Haftar now is testing how successful have his overtures been. I've made the French and Italians believe I'm a valuable ally. Salvini is always complaining about the migration. If I can take Tripoli quickly enough, the international community will recognize me. And indeed, when he looks at the way the international community recognized Sisi's coup in Egypt, when he looks at the way the international community has put Houthi on the same level as the Yemen internationally recognized government, Haftar understands that international community recognizes power. It recognizes stability. This is more important than democracy with regards to the international community. Haftar believes if he can take Tripoli quickly enough, he will be recognized by the international community, and this is his gamble today.
So do you see there being a political resolution to all this, or have we moved beyond that now?
I think the French and the Italians in particular, who are the two major players in Libya, are waiting to see how quickly can Haftar take Tripoli. They will get involved if there is a stalemate, if there is an increase in casualties. But the reality is, if you're Salvini sitting in Rome today, you're looking at this migration crisis that you have said is the problems for your economy, and you've seen that Haftar has done a decent job, according to you, of helping to stem some of that migration crisis. You see in Haftar a key ally. Libya under Haftar would not be so bad for you. If you're the French, who Libya has been giving you a constant headache, and indeed Haftar has helped to keep the EU intact by, as they will claim, that Haftar is a valuable ally in stemming the migration crisis that threatens to rip the EU apart. You will see no problem in Haftar. The French and the Italians will be worried about the public pressure. They will say, if Haftar can take Tripoli quickly enough, then it's easy. Let's deal with stability better than democracy. But if Haftar can't take Tripoli quickly enough, and there is a high casualty, we will be forced to try to push a political solution. Let's look at the past political solutions. In Palermo, in Paris, Sarraj was forced on the militias in Tripoli, not just on Haftar. Sarraj was forced onto the Libyans, and the militias in Tripoli have continued to undermine him. This is what has created this scenario for Haftar to push forward. So when we talk about Sarraj's army, we have to be very careful. These are militias who realize that their infighting has brought Haftar to their doorstep. If the French and the Italians are looking for stability, they have gambled that Haftar will bring it to them. And this is why we see a wait-and-see policy. There have been meetings, there have been announcements, but no real movement from the international community, and they are waiting to see what will unfold.
Okay, Sami Hamdi from the International Interest, thanks for joining us.